you should understand Russia is totalitarian state, and the economic situation and the current situation of the people and how much they suffer from the bad economic situation in Russia have no political influence.
Now let's start looking at it then a little bit further and a bit more detail. And welcome Grigory Yavlinksy, who's the founder and leader of the Russian Democratic Yabloko opposition party. He's a two-time presidential candidate in Russia who ran against Putin in 2000 and in 2018. Welcome to you.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
You're very, very welcome. Can you just tell us, in your view, what would it take to persuade President Putin to agree to a prompt ceasefire in Ukraine?
It needs time, and it needs very serious negotiations. I'm not sure that Americans can arrange that kind of negotiations. I think that it's a problem that Europe is not a part of the negotiations, because I'm not sure that Americans have the idea of the substance of what's going on. So I would like to say about several topics which is necessary to understand in this issue. I think that very important, first of all, to really understand the reasons of the war, why the war happened.
Yeah.
And how Putin sees these reasons. Yes, the representatives of Europe who are going to talk to Putin can disagree completely or partly, but they need to understand this. Secondly, it's very important that negotiators should have a clear and honest understanding of the real situation in the battlefield today, not for propaganda, but reality. It's very different from what we are talking in the media and what we can see in the newspapers. For example, the honestly understanding of the situation inside Ukraine, the human factor, what's going on with the people.
Yeah.
And thirdly, it's very important to understand what really Americans want and can do, what Trump wants to do. But it is especially important to have the idea of the future of Europe.
Right.
This is what I want to stress. Russia is not going to disappear. And we need to understand how we want to see Europe, for example, in 5 or 10 years. It is also very important to understand how Russia works and why Russia is such as it is today.
Yeah.
The most important thing is why Russia became such.
Okay, let's just take, if we can, let me just take one or two of those points in turn then. Starting with your first one, what it is that President Putin really wants to achieve. There's a common perception that what President Putin wants when it comes to Ukraine is to absorb it, or at least to neutralize it, to add it to that buffer zone of states, of satellites between Russia and its potential adversaries in the West. Is that true in your view? Is it as simple as that?
I think that you stressed a very important point. One of the most important things for Putin is no NATO in Ukraine.
Yes.
This is a key point. No military presence of the European states in Ukraine. This is the key point. And there are some other points, but this is number one. This is number one. No NATO in Ukraine. Yeah. No military Ukraine. Then nationalism is a problem. And so, of course, relations between Ukraine and Russians and Russia also is issues. All of these issues are the key things, not the territories.
Okay. Let me just get your perception as someone there in Russia. Can Russia, as far as you know, as far as you can see, can Russia and the Russian economy sustain this war for very much longer? We see that inflation is rising. Russian economic growth is predicted to slow down. Interest rates are high, and it's suggested that arms production in Russia is already near its maximum capacity. Are we near the point where Russia could not carry on, that Russia could become exhausted?
Yes, it's a very important question, and I want to try to share with you with my vision. First of all, at the moment, the Russian economy is more or less working, and there is no problem with inflation about 10, 12%, and the people just accept that. This is number one. Secondly, you should understand Russia is totalitarian state, and the economic situation and the current situation of the people and how much they suffer from the bad economic situation in Russia have no political influence.
Okay.
And this is very important to understand, that the Kremlin don't care about what's going on with the people in the small cities in the whole Russia, except one city, it's Moscow. Yeah. Moscow is important for them. All the other cities is not very much important. And it is very far, 2 or 3 years, when the economic problems would be sensitive for the people and then later for the government. So it's not the real reason to continue the war.
Okay, so if Russian public opinion does not count with Putin, and that's we can easily comprehend that, nor it seems is the loss of Russian lives on the battlefield. Does that mean that the ways to deal with this aggression against Ukraine is by resisting it, is on the battlefield, by strengthening the Ukraine military so that Putin just calculates it's no longer in his interest to persist?
This is a very sensitive issue, but nobody knows how many people were killed there. Nobody knows these numbers. Nobody knows the figures. There is no information at all about that. And people in Russia is living in the conditions of enormous propaganda. People are living in such a situation that there is no at all freedom of speech. No. Yes, and there is no free press already for 10 years. So everybody is living in the conditions of serious fear. So in such situation, to have the response from the people is a very, very, at the moment, is not working.
Okay, so what will it take, if I can ask you this briefly, and thank you for joining us, what will it take to compel President Putin to back away?
It'll be a long process, and the only thing what I can say is that the Europe, at least Europe, have to have, as I told you, vision of future and start talking. There is no way to find the victory on the battlefield. Forget about that. That wouldn't happen. The end of story would be complete destroying of Ukraine. I think that it's necessary to stop the war and to stop and to start the ceasefire as soon as possible. And this is not only the vital interest of Russia. It's a vital interest of Ukraine and Europe as well. Okay. So it's necessary to find the common language as soon as possible.
Okay. Oh, well, I will have to leave it there, but thanks to you for joining us.
Thank you very much for your invitation.
Thank you for joining us. Grigory Yavlinksy there, opposition party leader there in Russia.